What if I told you that one of Britain's most famous princes might not actually be buried where everyone thinks he is? What if the royal grave that millions of people visit every year contains the wrong person? This isn't just some wild conspiracy theory. This is the incredible true story of Prince Albert Victor, and the mystery that has puzzled historians for over 130 years. Prince Albert Victor was supposed to be king. Born in 1864, he was Queen Victoria's grandson and next in line for the British throne after his father. Everyone called him Eddie. He was tall, handsome, and had everything going for him. But Eddie had a problem. He kept getting into trouble with the wrong people. In the 1880s, London was a dangerous place. The city was full of criminals, secret societies, and scandals that could destroy reputations overnight. Eddie loved the excitement. He would sneak out of the palace and explore the darkest corners of London. His royal handlers were terrified about what he might be up to. Then, the murders started. Jack the Ripper was terrorizing London, killing women in the most brutal ways imaginable. The police had no clues, no suspects, and no idea how to stop the killings. But some people noticed something strange. The murders seemed to happen when Prince Eddie was in London, and they stopped happening when he left town. Rumors began to spread. Whispers in dark corners suggested that Britain's future king might be connected to the most famous serial killer in history. The royal family was horrified. If these rumors were true, or even if people just believed they were true, it would destroy the monarchy forever. Eddie's family decided something had to be done, hoping the scandal would die down. But Eddie had other plans. He fell in love with a Catholic girl named Helene, and everyone knew that a future king of England could never marry a Catholic. The royal family was in panic mode. Then something happened that changed everything. In January 1892, Eddie got sick. Really sick. The official story was that he caught influenza during an epidemic. Within days, the prince, who was supposed to rule Britain, was dead at just 28 years old. But here's where the story gets weird. Eddie died at Sandringham, the royal estate in England. His funeral was held at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. He was buried with full royal honors, and his tomb became a place where people came to mourn the prince who never got to be king. Case closed, right? Not so fast. In the years following Eddie's death, strange stories began to emerge. Servants whispered about secret meetings in the days before the prince died. Palace guards reported unusual activity around the royal quarters, and some people claimed they had seen Prince Eddie alive after his supposed death. The most shocking theory came from an unexpected source. A man named Joseph Gorman claimed his father had told him an incredible secret. According to Gorman, Prince Eddie hadn't died of influenza at all. Instead, the royal family had faked his death to save the monarchy from scandal. But if Eddie didn't die, what happened to him? This is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. According to the conspiracy theorists, the royal family made a deal with Eddie. They would fake his death and give him a new identity, but he would have to disappear forever. He could never return to England, never reclaim his title, and never reveal who he really was. The plan was brilliant in its simplicity. They would hold a funeral for Eddie in England, but the body in the coffin wouldn't be his. Meanwhile, the real Prince Eddie would be secretly transported to another country where he could live out his days in hiding. But which country? And where is he really buried? Some researchers believe Eddie was taken to France, where he lived under an assumed name until his real death decades later. Others think he went to America, where he could disappear into the vast frontier. Still others believe he ended up in Australia, working as a common laborer far from the royal palaces of his birth. The most compelling theory involves a mysterious grave in a small cemetery in France. Local records show that an unidentified Englishman was buried there in the 1920s. The man had lived in the area for over 30 years, but never spoke about his past. He was tall, well-educated, and bore a striking resemblance to the royal family. When he died, he was buried under a false name. Could this unnamed grave be the real resting place of Prince Albert Victor? The evidence is circumstantial, but intriguing. The timeline matches perfectly. The physical description fits, and the location makes sense. France was close enough to England for secret visits, but far enough away to avoid detection. But there's another twist to this story. In the 1970s, researchers gained access to royal archives that had been sealed for decades. What they found was shocking. There were documents suggesting that Eddie's death had been greatly exaggerated. Medical records that didn't match the official cause of death. Travel documents that showed unusual activity around the time of his supposed funeral. Most damning of all were the financial records. The royal family had been secretly sending money to a mysterious recipient in France for over 30 years after Eddie's death. The payments stopped in the 1920s, right around the time that the mysterious Englishman died. Modern technology has made it possible to solve this mystery once and for all. DNA testing could compare remains in Eddie's tomb with other members of the royal family. Ground-penetrating radar could reveal whether there's actually a body in the grave at Windsor Castle. Archaeological examination could determine the age and identity of the mysterious remains in France. But here's the problem. The royal family has refused every request for testing. They claim it would be disrespectful to disturb the dead. Critics argue they're afraid of what the tests might reveal. So the mystery remains unsolved. Is Prince Albert Victor really buried in Windsor Castle? Or is his grave just an empty monument to a royal cover-up? Is the real prince buried in an unmarked grave in France? Or did he live out his days somewhere else entirely? The implications of this story are staggering. If the conspiracy theorists are right, it means the British royal family successfully pulled off one of the greatest deceptions in history. They faked the death of a prince, covered up potential connections to the Jack the Ripper murders, and maintained the lie for over a century. But there's another possibility. Maybe Eddie really did die of influenza in 1892. Maybe the conspiracy theories are just wild stories created by people who wanted to believe in something more exciting than a simple death from disease. Maybe the prince buried in Windsor Castle really is Prince Albert Victor, and all the mysterious evidence is just coincidence. The truth is, we may never know for sure. The royal archives remain sealed. The family refuses DNA testing, and the mysterious grave in France has never been officially investigated. What we do know is that Prince Albert Victor's story has captivated people for over 130 years. Whether he died young from illness or lived a secret life in exile, his tale remains one of the most intriguing mysteries in royal history. The prince, who was supposed to rule Britain, may be buried in the wrong country, living out eternity far from the throne he was born to inherit. Or he may be exactly where he's supposed to be, resting peacefully in the royal chapel at Windsor Castle, until someone opens that tomb and tests those remains. The mystery of the prince buried in the wrong country will continue to fascinate historians, conspiracy theorists, and anyone who loves a good unsolved puzzle. Sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones where we never learn the ending. Prince Albert Victor's story is one of those tales, full of mystery, intrigue, and questions that may never be answered. But that's what makes it so compelling. In a world where we think we know everything, it's amazing that such a big secret could still be hidden in plain sight. If this incredible royal mystery blew your mind, smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking secrets from history that will change everything you thought you knew. What other royal conspiracies should we investigate? Drop your theories in the comments, hit that notification bell, and share this with anyone who loves unsolved mysteries that involve kings, queens, and maybe even serial killers.